escape isn't an option. Life will keep making you experience what you failed to learn. The unresolved will reoccur until you respond in a new way. Repetition compulsion is a psychological trap that has us reliving the trauma we desperately want to escape. Our minds compel us to repeat a traumatic event or its circumstances, again and again. It's as if we're stuck in a never-ending loop, unable to break free from the pain of the past. We do this without even realizing it. We unconsciously repeat behaviors, emotions, and patterns from those past traumatic events. Those nights when you're jolted awake by a nightmare. Yep, that's trauma re-experiencing itself in your dreams. Or you keep getting provoked by the same situations, and even though you know better, you react the same way every time. These are simply reminders that you're stuck in a limited mindset that you haven't been able to break through. But it doesn't stop there. With reenactment syndrome, we don't just replay the trauma, we recreate it in new settings. It's like our minds are scripting the same tragic play, just on a different stage. So why do we do this? What drives us to repeat the very things that hurt us? First, there's psychological defense. By reliving these events in a controlled way, our minds might be trying to desensitize us, to build a protective wall against the trauma. It's like putting ourselves through the same hurt, hoping it'll hurt a little less each time. Then, there's the drive for mastery. We repeat the trauma, not just to suffer, but to try to gain control over it. Maybe this time we'll win. Maybe this time the story will end differently. We're searching for a resolution that always seems just out of reach. Finally, there's reenactment. Often, without even knowing it, we set ourselves up to relive the trauma in our current lives. It's like our minds are stuck on repeat, hoping that by revisiting old wounds, we can finally heal them. Dissociation acts as a temporary defense to avoid the pain of trauma. Dissociation is like a pause button. It's a psychological process where your brain separates certain thoughts, emotions, or memories from your conscious awareness. It's your mind's way of saying, "This is too much right now, let's deal with it later, or maybe never." While dissociation shields you from immediate pain, it also keeps you from fully processing what happened. It's like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. You can't see the whole picture. Repetition compulsion is a tough cycle, but by recognizing the patterns, we can start to challenge them, choosing different paths, different responses, and ultimately finding healing. Do you believe in karma? The idea that our actions, whether mental, verbal, or physical, set into motion consequences that we must experience, often until we've learned the lesson they bring. Karma is more than just a concept of cosmic justice. It's about understanding and resolution. Every action begins with a spark, a mental karma. It starts with a feeling or an urge, like a thought that whispers, "Do this" or "say that." It's the seed that might grow into a full-blown action, or it might just stay in your mind, shaping how you think and feel. Next comes physical and verbal karma. These are driven by those mental urges, but they come to life in the way we speak, move, and interact. Your tone of voice, the way you gesture, all of it is shaped by the emotions and compulsion inside. Like a ripple in the water, every action leaves a mark. These marks, or karmic potentials, sit in our mental continuum, ready to ripen into future experiences. And guess what? The more we repeat these actions, the stronger the tendencies become, making it more likely we'll do them again. That's the cycle of karma, repeating patterns that keep us stuck in the same loops. The cycle of karma can be seen as the universe providing repeated opportunities to learn specific lessons. Life has a way of balancing the scales. Whatever energy we put out into the world, it eventually comes back to us. Whether through joy or suffering, karma ensures that we face the results of our actions. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Most of the time, we act on instinct, doing what we've always done. This is what we call fate, the path determined by our habits, our personality, and our past. Fate may be written, but it's not set in stone. Change is possible. It's the conscious effort to act against your nature, to steer your life in a new direction. The choice is yours. Will you follow the path laid out by your past, or will you create a new one?